Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to discuss what I believe is the most important topic relating to families worldwide, and that's family safety. How do you protect your family in today's world? With all the dangers, with all the cartel situation, with the human trafficking business, if that's what you want to call it, ramped up to $1 billion industry, there's a lot of danger. There are a lot of professional level predators that are out there targeting your family, especially your wife and your children. So how do you do that? What do you have to know? And the answer is simple. Correct, accurate information. That information can be split into two camps. Number one, preemptive or precautionary measures, all the do's and don'ts, so that you know exactly how not to become an attractive target for a predator. The second is technical. When you're attacked, what physically and mentally do you have to do in order to escape the attack unharmed, cripple the assailant so that they don't come after you? The basic sequence for that requires very specific, very detailed information. My particular experience in this realm started when I was a kid, relating to bullies. Later, when I began to teach martial arts, I had a school in Boston. One of my female karate students was abducted at knife point. This was back in 1976. The only reason she escaped, because this guy was a maniac, was she kept her calm. She was able to talk the guy into putting the knife down momentarily, and then she was able to escape by counterattacking him and fleeing. When she told me about that later on in the afternoon, the enormity of that whole situation really hit me, and I began to formulate at that point a program not for martial artists, but for the general public, specifically women and children. I called it Fearless because she was, in fact, the impetus for that. She was fearless throughout the entire exchange, and obviously she was successful because of that, along with her ability to act decisively and then escape. So in the event of an attack from any type of a predator, we have certain goals. Number one, cripple the attacker so they can't follow. That's got to be done within the first 10 seconds. Secondly, escape unharmed. And then the third is, if possible, reach somewhere or someone who can actually summon the law enforcement to be able to apprehend them. But obviously the first two are the most important. So the very first thing I teach is, how do you remain calm in a crisis, in a life and death situation? How do you remain cool enough to be able to react? Because if not, if you have fear, which is always going to be part of the attack, and then you panic and you give in to that fear, you can be Bruce Lee and you're going to freeze just like a deer in the headlights. You're not going to be able to do anything that you know how to do. One critical thing that you have to know in an attack is, how do you deal with the nervous system's response? It's called fight or flight. It gives you tremendous physical strength and reaction time, up to 10 times your normal strength for the first 30 seconds, 3 to 4 times your normal strength for the first 3 to 5 minutes. However, if you don't know how to channel that energy and use it as an asset, it's going to become a liability, hence the deer in the headlight analogy. When you're attacked by an assailant, they're going to have an angle of attack, whether it's from the front, from the side, from behind. You have to know very specific things relating to your physical response to that. Number one, proper stance. How do you set your feet? How do you move in order to do two things? Maximize your leverage, maximize your balance. From that point, you can control the situation until you make a counterattack to cripple that assailant. When dealing with an attack, right from the inception, state of mind is vital. There are two camps of thought in this: the conscious mind, the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is not going to help you in any type of a situation that's life-threatening. This is not where you can sit there and consider different options. You have to react. The subconscious mind is the storehold for that type of information. But you have to have information in there systematically presented and reflexively practiced to become automatic. Because again, this is not a thinking situation, this is a reaction situation. Fearless itself has 3 different levels, or 3 different courses. The first and the most important is this one, because it gives you all the information and all the technical aptitude to be able to handle and succeed in escaping unharmed. The second is, how do you deal with an armed assailant, someone who has a club or a knife? The third, which I don't teach myself, but have one of the best instructors and shooters in the world, is firearms training. And we teach from beginning to advanced. That way you have the full spectrum of all the different information, technical aptitude that you're going to need in order to handle just about any situation out there. I've had the opportunity to teach thousands and thousands and thousands of people worldwide this course. To date, I've not heard of one person that actually had an unsuccessful venture in escaping an attack. The seminar is a hands-on situation instructed by me. I make sure every detail is correct for everybody in the seminar. Then we have practice materials, and that's very, very important. It's critical because that way, not only can you review it so it's reflexive, but you can teach your kids, and that's why this whole thing was developed from a review standpoint. The book is loaded with all the precautionary information, as well as detailed, illustrated breakdowns of each technique. Now, the DVD breaks down in video, in slow motion and regular time, each aspect of every technical movement, balance, position, vital targets, neurological shock points to be able to put down the biggest, strongest assailant you can imagine. These are neurological shock points. You know, I see on videos all the time, on YouTube and so forth, people a woman 100 pounds, trying to elbow a man who's 260 pounds, or doing punches or engaging in some kind of a fight with them. That's insane. It doesn't work, and it'll lead to serious injury. You have to have areas that you're going to counterattack that are neurological shock points. Those points will incapacitate the biggest, strongest person. That's what we need to start with. That's what you need to master. All of the aspects of these 2 review materials that you practice with your family on a regular basis and teach your kids and drill into them on a repetitive basis so that everybody in the family has reflexive information where they can react. That's the nature of what Fearless has been all about. That's the nature of what I do, and I will continue to do the rest of my life. Again, there's never been a time in our history when safety has been more of an important issue. And it has to be assimilated individual by individual, family by family. That's been my mission. I appreciate the opportunity to present that to you. Thank you very much.